evening, brother and sister. So happy to see so many of you. Actually, I think majority of them know who is Sister Sylvia, but some might not know. So I still introduce her.
He'll be allowed, okay? It's been a while.
Sister Sylvia has been dedicated to the study and practice of Buddha's teachings since 1992. She graduated with a bachelor degree, first class honor in Buddhist Studies from the Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka in year 2000. And she joined the teaching staff of the Buddhist and Pali College, Singapore in 2001. She's one of my teachers. Since 2002, Sister Sylvia has also been a regular speaker on Buddhist doctrine, Buddhist history, and the practical application of Buddha's teaching in daily life. At the invitations of various Buddhist organizations in Singapore. She published her first book in May 2014, the first volume of a two-part series on the life of the Buddha, which is titled Between the Lines, and Analytical's appreciation of Buddha's life. Volume 2 was launched on Vesak Day of year 2015. Sister Sylvia also holds a Bachelor in Social Science from NUS and a Master in International Public Policy from School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins. So now you all know who is Sister Sylvia Bay. Okay, let's not delay.
Okay, please. Thank you very much for the very kind introduction, which I wrote myself. I cannot keep writing about myself, so I write it once and then everyone share. And sometimes they update it themselves. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about Upekka. Upekka means equanimity, okay? We are going to start with a meditation sitting. No point me trying to explain a concept that is essentially a mental state. Upekka is a mental state. If I were to ask you to explain fear, you're going to sit there and go, scared? Trepidation? You're essentially doing thesaurus here. That's not very helpful. So what we are going to do, you try, okay? Everyone try. What we're going to do is I'm going to guide you through a meditation sitting. We'll try, okay? And for those of you who have learned elsewhere, may I ask you, just for this round, for the next 10 minutes, suspend your learning and just follow me. Follow me on this journey, meditation sitting, okay? Hello everyone, you're back. Did you manage to sit comfortably? Everybody feeling good? Yeah, I know for sure you won't heckle me now. You sat for 5, 10, 13 minutes? You sat for 13 minutes. How many of you kind of like, 13 minutes, really? Didn't really feel that way. How many of you feel that way? Like, seems like a short sitting. If you do that, I know your mind has gone quiet. If you sit there and you tell me, oh my gosh, 15 minutes? I thought it was only 5. Then I know your mind has gone quiet. When the mind has gone quiet, it feels timeless. Dhamma, Analytical. Okay? If your mind is able to go quiet. So, before I go into Upekka, right, the actual talk itself, I'm just going to point out a few things. All of you chant the triple gem, you know how to chant, right? Swakato, Bhagavata Dhammo, Sanditiko, Akaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanaiko, Pachatam Viditabu Vinyuhiti. What you experienced earlier in the sitting, if your sitting was quiet enough, you have the whole spectrum. You saw for yourself. You have an experiential event. You experience it sanditiko. Time passed. No idea of time. You just enjoy this moment. Akaliko. And for those of you who really felt deep about this, there's a part of you that says, I would like others to know. My loved ones, if they could only see it and feel it for themselves. That's ehipasiko. Inviting, alluring. You want others to know. Opanaiko is leading. So the ones who actually felt quiet, there is a part in your mind that says, I want to know more. That's Upanaiko. To be able to understand what was going on. That part is Pachatam Veditabu Vinyuhiti, to be realized by the wise for himself. You will say, maybe, I don't really know what was going on. You thought I follow. But you now know it is an experience, very beautiful in itself. And you would wish that others would come and you yourself would want to continue this learning. That's the Dhamma. Dhamma is not just words and concepts and ideas. Dhamma is very much a part of life, a part of life's experience. So I may be talking about a concept called Upekka, but it must not stay as a concept. You understand what it is, and understand that this concept, you may have a taste of it already. It's a mental state. Okay? Comes the simple introduction. For those of you way at the back, enjoy the color. I spent a long time building this, okay? I can't quite read my own words, but I roughly know what it says. Okay. Typically, Upekka has been translated into English as equanimity. Equanimity. And typically, when we talk about Upekka, we talk about it as one of a set of 4 mental states. They are all mental states. Okay? Metta. What is metta? Typically translated as loving kindness. So today I will say a little bit more about these gang of 4. Metta, typically translated as loving kindness, but actually loving kindness, in my mind, not a very good translation, because it makes it too chim, too glorious, too unattainable for some. Like, I can be kind, but I'm not sure loving is there. I can be loving, but I'm not sure if that's kind. And what is loving and kind, right? Like a dual state. No. Actually, very straightforward. Think of these mental states as a spectrum. There is the highest level, the deepest level, and there is the more basic, more easily attainable level, okay? And metta, the first one up there, M-E-T-T-A, metta, means friendliness. When someone comes to this center, and you are one of the members here, someone comes here for the first time, totally new, or alien floating around, and there is a part in you that goes up and welcome them because you feel they would be lost, they would be uncomfortable, and you want to make them comfortable. The part of you that want to make someone comfortable, that want to help someone settle and be smiling. The part of you that smiles at that person, that part is metta. Metta. Okay? And from the very mildest version of metta is just smile. Be friendly. From that level to the deepest level, the highest level of metta, which is indiscriminate, totally no restraint kind of smiling. You stand near them and you cannot help it but smile because their energy is so strong, their metta is so strong. Okay? If they stop smiling, you know something is off because it's so strong. That's the chim one, the highest level. And it is said Buddha's metta was so strong, a drunkard, rummaging elephant gets taken aback. He go boom, and then the elephant trumpet a bit. But he will stop. The elephant was drunk, by the way. So Buddha's metta was so strong. Of course, Buddha directed it all at the elephant because the guy is just going around stomping people to death, right? And the elephant stopped. So that's metta. Karuna means compassion. Now, compassion, everybody have. Better have, huh? Minimally, huh? You say metta very hard, compassion easier. Okay, I hear you. Actually, that's not correct, but I hear you. Compassion in this way is a little different from your traditional notion of compassion. Our kind of compassion depends on the story. Okay? Why do I say that? If you see someone begging or someone selling tissue paper, there is a part in you that says, I want to go and help. So you go and help. Then you heard or you saw this guy smoking. And there's a part in you, the part that is, I want to go and help. Shrivel up. Gone with the wind. Because our compassion comes with a story. It is not instinctive. It sits on our notion, our impression of what it is. But the compassion of the Buddha has no story. Compassion is just a mental energy for him. And if your metta is pure, with no story, compassion will be there. The two of them are BFF. Metta and karuna, friendliness and compassion, they are best friends. Okay? And they will come together. So if you have metta, natural, compassion will be natural. And no story. The third one is mudita. Mudita, compassion, altruistic joy, whatever you call it, not sympathetic joy. Not sympathetic joy, okay? If you see that translation, you know, strike out. Not correct. Why? Because this one, mudita, deals with you rejoicing with another at his good fortune. He got something you want. He got it. And you feel happy for him, with him. He's doing well. Why are you sympathetic? That's why it's a wrong translation. This is the one where you connect with him, you feel his joy, you will celebrate with him. Truthfully, honestly, sincerely. Okay? And these three must come with the fourth one. And then it's perfect. It's Brahma Vihara. It's living like the Brahma. Okay? And the last one is Upekka. So Upekka, equanimity, does not stand alone. It stands with the other three. That's the real form of Upekka. It has to stand with the three. So together, I so rudely call them the gang of four, but the four of them actually comes together. And it will arise only under certain conditions that we will go into in a short while. So you understand, huh? Metta, if you want to memorize something, this is a good one to memorize. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, the four of them. Okay, let me explain a little bit. Actually, it gets harder and harder. The four of them gets harder and harder because every single one of them means you must give up something. Metta means you're giving up your self-consciousness. If you are self-conscious, no metta. Oddly enough. Because you're like, I'm so worried about how you look at me. Right? Do I look nice? Is my hair nicely combed? I'm very particular. If I look at you and I want to smile at you, then you frown at me. My smile stops. Because I wonder if you are disapproving of me. So metta means you're giving up your self-image. You're concerned about yourself. Concerned about how you look. Okay? That's the first one. The second one, you are making sacrifices. You will give up something. Compassion without giving up something is tabletop exercise. What do I mean? Compassion means you want to alleviate someone's suffering, right? It means that you want to give up, you want to look after someone, you want to give up, you want to go and alleviate his suffering. He needs time. He needs to sit down and talk to you. He wants you to talk to him. He wants you to put in effort for him. Then you say, no time. I can't. I must sacrifice my television for you. No way. You will have to sacrifice something. Whether it's time or energy or mind space, bandwidth, whatever you call it. So there's a sacrifice. Harder, right? Giving up your self-image much easier than giving up your precious time and energy. We're not even talking about money. We haven't gone there yet. Mudita is giving up your joy, your pleasure. Because there's something you want, when you get it, you feel really good. You're giving that up. Then you can rejoice with him. If you didn't give that up, how to rejoice? Upekka, I will show you in the next slide what you have to give up. But in the meantime, I will say this. And the reason why I say this, when I was writing the script, I remembered this. It's a reminder to me to say a point. How many of you actually wondered if equanimity equal indifference? Cannot be, nobody thought that. Oh, I like you. That's a lot of people having that kind of an impression that the two of them are equal. I will show you why they are not. Look at this one. So as a general point first, I keep saying this. Upekka is a mental state. Like any mental state, it arises with condition. What do I mean? Now I want all of you, let's do a little experiment here, okay? I want all of you, right now, be frightened. Go. Clock is ticking. Be frightened. Scared. You all know what fear is, right? Now be frightened. Then you are, this auntie siao one. Bright light, many people, camera some more, all laughing away. How to be frightened? Okay, now I try, let's try a new one. 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, lights off. Nobody here. You are alone. Ayo, you laugh so happily. Is there a story to tell? Do I have to tell you and encourage you to be frightened? You will be, okay? If you say, okay, you're not scared, one no count. So no mental condition for that, okay? For the rest of the world, we talk about the national average here, okay? The national average, 12 o'clock, dark, alone. Then you heard stories. Okay, maybe not Mangala, not so nice, Mortuary, right? This is a mortuary. I don't need to tell you anything. You just walk through from point A to B already, they've got Mongkun Chan, right? All your goose pimples up. Agree? Condition, right? Conditional arising. So any mental states, jealousy, I ask you now, be jealous. There you. About what? Be angry. About what? And these are mental states you know. Anger, sad, grieving, joy, happiness, jealousy. All these are mental states you know. And you have difficulty bringing them up when the conditions are not there. External condition, internal conditions, not there. You cannot bring it up. External conditions not there. Internal condition there, you can bring it up. That's why I said, imagine, dog, alone. nobody, then you hear, eh. You're only imagining. And already some of you, ooh, this is a bit off, right? And that is what it means. Upekka, equanimity as a mental state will arise only when the conditions are there. You don't have the regular conditions, you don't have the conditions in daily life, it's very hard to experience it. If you even experience it, okay? What are the conditions? How does this mental state arise? The mental state will arise naturally if your heart, your mind is very instinctive with these concepts: contentment, acceptance. Is it equate? Not equate, but those are conditions. When there is a sense of contentment, I repeat, you all know the feeling of contentment, right? How many of you don't know the feeling of contentment? Ask the right question, get the answer you want. Okay, all of you know the feeling of contentment. You all know the feeling of contentment. At the point when your mind is honestly, sincerely, fully contented, at that point, the accompanying mental state is upekka. Equanimity will be present. I repeat, it has to be sincere, not contrite. Not nye lai version, okay? Nye lai means try very, very hard. Trying very, very hard to be content. Then you know it's not there. I must be content. Buddha said must be content, so I must be content. Because I'm star student. I will know how to be content. You say things like that, contrite, trying too hard. It must come naturally. So what does it mean by coming naturally? It means you didn't force it. You sitting, so there will be times, okay, this is usually what I try to do, right? There'll be times when you are full and you are comfortable, you're surrounded by loved ones, you sit back and you go, life. Have done that before? This is the most unresponsive class ever. Have done it before? Like, sit back and, nice, happy, wife no quarrel with you, husband no quarrel with you, children are fine, they're playing happily. There's a part in you that sit back and go, when I have another life, I want it to be like that. Okay, don't say that, okay? But that's the idea. That moment, you are content. For that brief moment, your mind will experience upekka at that moment, but it wouldn't last. It wouldn't last because our mind is rarely content. Our mind, if unfocused, if you are not mindful, your mind has a mind of its own. It will drift towards what it likes, it wants. And what does it drift towards? Typically, sensual pleasure. Whether you think of food, or you smell food, or you taste food, your mind will drift that way. And it depends on what you typically are caught up by. Okay, depend on you. If you are the sort, typically you love music, you die without music, right? The mind will drift towards music. If you need to talk to someone, you are extrovert, you will die if you're alone, extrovert. You find someone to talk to. In your mind is telephone number. Who do I call? Who on speed dial? Okay, that's just the way it is. So, a set of conditions, critical one, contentment and acceptance. Okay? This is where we are going a bit chim. Okay, I will give early warning. So I will give early warning. Red means chim level high. Okay, green means good for PG, a general audience. Okay, we're going into red. When is there contentment? The point when you have contentment is when there is no grasping, no attachment to what we call the 5 aggregates of grasping. Okay? What are the 5 aggregates of grasping? Form, feeling, perception, volitional thought formation, thinking, consciousness. Okay? This is not the place I will explain these 5 aggregates in detail. But this 5 aggregates of grasping is an extremely important part of the Buddha's teaching. If you are very serious about wanting to understand what he taught, you must be very familiar with this gang of 5. They're all gangs. This gang of 5, okay? You have to understand them not just superficially. Not just, feeling, I know feeling, I know, perception, I know. No, not at that level of superficial knowing, but deep insight and deep understanding of these 5. Because every aspect of his key teaching, whether it's about impermanence, or the noble truths, or the eightfold paths, or the really super cheap one that everybody loves, dependent origination. Any of these concepts all talk about these 5 things. Okay? But just for a flavor of what it means, just a flavor. How many of you don't know feeling? Ask the right question, get the right answer. So we all know feelings, huh? How many types of feelings are there? 3. Well done. What are they? Pleasant, painful, neutral. 3 types of feelings. Okay. Our entire life revolves around these 3. You like it or not, we are led by the nose on just these 3. Whether it is external world, which is your sensual delights, or the internal world, your thoughts, your construction. Where do you drive that? Based on feelings, that 3. We want to think pleasant because it brings delight and joy. In today's modern science, it's called dopamine and endorphin and oxytocin. Okay? You just say it like this. But you want these. The ones you don't want, the painful ones. But does your mind only stay with pleasant? No. Your mind goes to the unpleasant and the painful and the pleasant. Does your mind happily wander around neutral? Whose mind wanders around neutral? Not really. Because if you say you are, I would say congratulations, you must be an Arya. Because only the Arya, mind will wander around neutral if they wander. They don't wander usually, but if they do, it's usually neutral. There is actually a sutta, I didn't invent this, there was actually a sutta where the Buddha said, when there is knowledge, understanding, and insight, when there is insight, neutral is pleasant. When there is no understanding and no insight, neutral is painful. So, who has understanding and insight of that kind of degree? The Aryas. That's why for them, neutral is pleasant. They are the only ones who can say in the whole day, right? Neutral, most time they are happy because neutral, right? Most of the time is neutral. You know, right? Most of our daily life is neutral. I ask you the last one, okay, forget about this hour. Before you came for class, before you come here, right? That 1 hour, did you laugh? Did you smile? Did you, what a lovely life. Did you do that? Ayo, I'm going to be late. Ayo, I'm going to be late. Which one? Oh, no, I just walk, no. And that's life. That's our life on a general basis. Okay, so back to the story, yeah? Oh my gosh, I've got so many slides. Oh my gosh, okay. So, contentment means actually being happy. You will accept feeling as they are, perception as they are, form as it is. Thoughts come and go. You have no preferences, you just let be. If you can do that, you will experience Upekka, okay? Oh, now I provide you with evidence from the Buddha. Provide you with evidence from the Buddha. I did warn you, this is red. Okay, what does the Buddha say? This is a conversation between Sariputta and another monk, okay? And this monk said to Sariputta, your faculties, your face, in other words, very clear, complexion, bright, pure and bright. What meditation were you doing? And he said, with the giving up of pleasure and pain, the ending of happiness and sadness, I enter and remain in the fourth absorption. He was in the fourth jhana. What is this fourth jhana? Pure Upekka, pure equanimity, pure mindfulness. What is this? Fourth jhana. What does fourth jhana mean? It means a state of mind that let go of preferences over pleasure or pain. So one is physical. Pleasure and pain is physical. Happiness and sadness, mental. Not I say one, Sariputta say one. Okay? I give you another one. Letting go. This is the beginning of equanimity as a mental state in the mind. Very obvious, right? Very obvious. It's the third jhana. It is a state where you no longer hold on to pleasure. You will feel a sense of happiness. Fading of rapture is piti. There is a sense of happiness. And the mind is clear. It is present. It experiences pleasure in the body. Okay? For those of you who meditate, I just have you understand this clearly. For those of you who meditate, understand this clearly. Every level of the jhana, this is for the ones who meditate, every level of the jhana requires a letting go of something. The first level, you arrive there by letting go of sense distraction. Right? Sense distraction. You turn inwards. The second level, you let go of the habit to think. The third level, you let go of this joy and pleasure you feel in the body. All those petit sensations. The fourth level, you let go of pleasure and pain. In other words, actually it's pleasure, but in the jhanas, it's only pleasure. You let go of being attached to feelings. Any form of feeling, you are okay. Doesn't matter. Content with whatever is there. Non-attachment to body and feeling. You go into the third jhana and the fourth jhana. Okay? What is letting go? And there is letting go of views. Non-attachment to sanya is perception. Thinking, shankara, vijnana, consciousness. Let me explain this. Suppose, let's say, you have disagreement with someone. Okay? It's daily life. You have disagreement with somebody. And the two of you have taken out strong positions. So your ego is in the way now. Okay? At what point would you feel relief? You have stick-up position. Huh? I take one. You say A, I say B. A is right. No, B is right. At what point would you feel, now you're getting annoyed, getting angry. At what point would you feel better? Don't tell me when I win. No count, okay? That's not it. You think about it. You have this agreement with someone. At what point would you actually feel okay? When you give up. When you say, sudahlah. I love it. Sudahlah. Okay? Enough. I'm done. I will let be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm happy to let it be. At the point when you say, I'm okay to let it be, it doesn't really matter. At that point, you will feel better. Agree? Now, assuming that really happened, that you really let it go, that you really are okay, and you move on. You tell me, would you think about it again? You would? If you would, you didn't let it go. Okay? No, it's your life, it's you. If you have really let it go, you would have forgotten it and you have moved on. It really doesn't matter, you don't care. It doesn't matter. But if your mind stray back to the argument, it actually means you haven't let it go. There is a part in you that say, come on. I am not happy. Come on is what? Not happy. Not satisfied. I am not satisfied. I should have done this, I should have said that, I would have floored her with that comment. Your mind hasn't let it go. In the course of your life, you had quarrels, right? Differences. Don't tell me you never had. Okay? I just leave it to you to be imaginative, which one you want, or to be selective, which one you want to pull out. In the course of your life, you would have disagreements, you would have arguments. In fact, for some of you, a lot more. Okay? And those arguments for you, some of them are over. And if they are over, what does it mean? I don't really care, I don't really mind, I move on. Okay? If you tell me, I forgive everyone, but I remember all of them, I will say congratulations. You must be a really angry person. The only way you can become a happier person is if you let it go. Sudah. Okay? So here, what we are describing here is a natural mental state. If you don't have strong views, you don't make assumptions, tight, strict, rigid assumptions, you don't do any of those things. You're very easygoing. Would you say that you are actually an okay, happy person? Because you let go. Okay? You don't judge. For those of you who say, I very let go. I can't stop my mind judging, but I very let go. No, you don't know yourself. Okay? If you don't have strong views, you don't have strong views. You are okay either way. If you're not okay either way, you have strong views. It's just one or the other. Cannot in between. Okay? For those people, and this is serious, this is describing a practitioner mind. For those of you very serious about the practice, you will learn not to take yourself too seriously. You will learn not to take feelings too seriously. So views not seriously, feelings not seriously, you won't have a lot of thoughts, a lot of thinking. All forms of thinking sits on some kind of desire. Thinking, all forms of thinking will sit on some kind of desire. Can be the positive ones, can be the negative ones, it doesn't matter. As long as there is desire, there will be thought. You don't believe me? You look at all your thoughts. every time there is a thought arising, right, you quickly see. What's driving it? What is that desire driving it? Is it kama tangha type, kama chanda, related to sense basis type? I want to eat, I want to think, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to see this external world. Or is it an internal world type? I want to look good, I want people to praise me, I want to win toto, this kind very low bar, but I want to win toto, I want to buy a car, I want to do this, all forms of desire. Then you say, some of you will say, I don't have a lot of desire leh. But I think a lot. Then I'll say, you don't have desires that you are aware of. Doesn't mean you don't have, you're not aware of it. For instance, you have an argument at work, or someone said something you didn't like, and you keep running around it again and again, a lot of pain. You want to look good. You feel aggrieved. You wish someone will praise you. So this is what we call the vicissitudes of life, which we will cover in a short while, okay? Or the Dhamma seeker. Remember earlier on I set off saying there are two types, right? There is the one that says, I only want to know what the Buddha teach or had taught so that I'm happier and I find life meaningful. Part 1, okay? This is for part 2. Okay. Part 2, the ones who are serious about trying to understand the Dhamma. You are serious about understanding the Dhamma. Understand it the way the Buddha taught it, so that it becomes life-transforming for you. It shifts the way your mind works. That kind, you want that kind. These 7 factors of enlightenment, starting with mindfulness. With mindfulness, you investigate the Dhamma. These are all mental states. All 7 are mental states. And I've said this before, the 7 of them align. Meaning, when you shoot, all 7 are there. Okay? When the 7 are aligned, your mind is ready for enlightenment. At that moment, it is awakened. And look at what's the last one there. Upekka. Why is Upekka important? Because Upekka present means you are not clinging to anything. If you're not clinging to anything, what are you experiencing? If you're not clinging to anything, what will you experience? Contentment. Third noble truth. The third noble truth, cessation of dukkha. You are not clinging to anything, you will experience the cessation of dukkha. At that very moment, your mind, you feel no dukkha. It's the one time, one taste in your life. Okay, of course, if you are practicing very well, you will taste this all the time. But, if you are not a very good practitioner, you are only new on the path, you're doing this for the first time, you went on a wonderful retreat. I must paint very good stories, right? You've gone on this retreat, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. The 7 of them can come up, one go. At that very moment, the mind will go quiet. You get this 7 in a line, the mind goes quiet. If you have done enough DFC, done enough Dhamma class, you have collected enough Dhamma knowledge, at the moment when the 7 are aligned, you will realize the Four Noble Truths. Just like that. Okay? Then when you realize it, the mind will back to number 1, mindfulness, Dhamma. It goes again. It's a virtuous spiral. Okay? It's a reinforcing virtuous spiral. The more you see, the happier you are, the more silent the mind, the more joyous you are, the more the mind can see the Dhamma. It just... That's why it's called the Dhamma Chakra. It will spiral towards the Dhamma. It will lean towards the Dhamma. Okay? Upekka will sit on wisdom, sila, samadhi. Okay, wisdom, number 2. Sila, number 1. Number 6. Number 4 and 5. All there. Viriya, samadhi, it's a sila. Okay, I know some of you will go like, Does she even talk English anymore? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, I am. Assure you. You will understand what I mean when you go deeper into this practice. Huh? Like that. If Upekka so critical, how come 37 factors are like that? Okay, typically we say eightfold path, right? We always say eightfold path. What is the eightfold path? Eightfold path is actually a methodology, a framework for mental cultivation, the cultivation of certain mental states. Those mental states are essential for awakening. You don't have those states, the mind cannot realize the Dhamma, okay? So typically we say eightfold path. But in ancient time, actually even now, we know there were 7 sets. The 7th one being the eightfold path. There's 7 sets. Different sets of mental cultivation. Oddly enough, in all the 37, Upekka is mentioned only once. In the 7th factor of enlightenment, it's mentioned only once. Then, so some may say, how come mention only once? Sister Sylvia, you say so important, so important, so important, then mention only one. Every time you see the word sati samadhi, okay, sati mindfulness, samadhi stillness. Every time you see those words, it's assumed Upekka is there. Okay? Upekka and the stillness of the mind, they best friend. Okay? So many words, I will read to you. There comes a time when the water element is disturbed and the external earth element vanishes, when even this external world earth element, great as it is seen to be impermanent, subject to destruction, disappearance, and change. What of this body that is clung to by craving and lasts but a while? Okay? Here the Buddha was saying, even the external world, your Bukit Timah Hill, I know, so no standard, but this is Singapore, okay? Bukit Timah Hill, the Mount Everest, Kota Kinabalu, all these wonderful mountains. He said, even these external earth element, impermanent, subject to destruction, disappearance, and change. Nowhere before our time, before this age of science, nowhere was it mentioned anywhere that the earth will change. Buddha said it. So if you ask me, did he see it? Probably did. Did he live through his psychic eyes, see the world of change? Probably did, because of the way he described it. He talked about how, okay, this one is a detour already, out of Upekka talk. He actually talked about how the earth will roast. A point in time will come when the earth will roast because your son will die. Okay? This is the man who had seen the birth and death of universe. And he said, even the external world will change. Because that's what it is. We know the movement of the plates, the continental plates. Okay. And then he said, okay, that's the external story. If the external world can change, let alone this body, this feeling, these thoughts, perception, consciousness, all these will change. Because they are constantly changing as practitioner, because they are constantly changing, every time you look at the aggregates, one of the aggregates, you should say, not mine, not I, not self. Because if you train yourself like this, so after so many words, basically he said, if you train your mind to look at things like this, then the world can beat you up, can scold you, can do things to you. As long as you keep saying, not mine, not I, not myself, as long as you keep doing that, you will remain Upekka. That is a training. This is a training for the mind. Most of us can't do it. That's why we are still here. Okay? We can't do it like this. But karma is a refuge. Therefore, with the mind deciding our practice, it can be changed. So you see, he goes on to talk about how you beat the guy up, you do funny things to him. They will cut you up with a two-handed sword. Buddha very graphic one, just let you know. You will not allow the mind to turn angry. You have to arouse. So last para, tireless energy aroused in me, unremitting mindfulness established. The body shall be tranquil and untroubled, the mind concentrated and unified. A state of mind when it is quiet and calm, where it has wisdom. The reason why I say wisdom, sila, samadhi, right? The reason why I cast it like this is because with wisdom and right understanding, you learn not to allow this anger to arise. That's sila. Okay? Panya, wisdom. Wisdom, saying it right, understanding the aggregates as not mine, not I, not self. Okay? With that kind of wisdom, you will train your mind not to give in to anger or agitation or get affected. You can do that, the mind goes quiet. That's samadhi. When the mind goes quiet, put the three together, you have upekka, a state of upekka. You are not affected by what's going on out there. So any time when you are affected, for those of you who actually do meditation and all, you know that every time you're not mindful, every time your mind is not in the Dhamma, you will get affected. Whatever people say, you hear. You collected the present. You know of the story, right? Collecting the present. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So you know the story. Okay, for those of you who are too shy to say, I don't know the story, right? The long time ago, someone scolded the Buddha left, right, center, right? Then the Buddha, very cute, Buddha said, when you give someone a present, and the person doesn't want to accept your present, who does the present belong to? And this guy went, me lah. Then Buddha said, okay, I'm not accepting your present of the scolding. You can take it back. Okay? So that was what he did. Cute. Look at the first line. When the bhikkhu, no need bhikkhu, us all, when we recall the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, if equanimity supported by wholesome does not become established, he must arouse a sense of urgency. This is a loss for me. It is no gain. It is bad. Let me explain. Buddha was using the triple gem. The triple gem to hold mindfulness, to be equanimous. Wholesome, okay? The wholesome does not become established. To become wholesome. Okay. Let me put it slightly differently. When you get upset, when people say you got upset, at the point when you got upset, did you think of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? No, okay? So, all practitioners, if you want to walk this path, remember, in your mind, I must practice like the Buddha. I must be mindful of the Dhamma. I must practice like the Sangha. Okay? Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. If you recall Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and straight away the mind turns wholesome. Very good. Buddha said, very good. Okay? If people scold you, you either don't think of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, or you think of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, but you see the unwholesomeness still come up. Buddha say, no standard. Okay, didn't quite say it like this, but you know what I mean, okay? So, this is an advice from the Buddha on how we can practice. Okay? I repeat, every time you get scolded, something went wrong, you can find your unwholesome mental state coming up, right? Quickly, Buddha Dhamma Sangha. When we say Buddha Dhamma Sangha, it must be serious. Don't like Buddha Dhamma, ha ha ha. Okay? Must be serious, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, okay? You know how many generation one only? So your mind, think of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, you must switch off the akusala, the unwholesome mental state, right? Switch it off. Re-establish wholesome state. Okay? So this is his teaching, his training for the bhikkhu. So he say, think of it like the daughter-in-law. I think poor thing is in the ancient time. His analogy is the daughter-in-law seeing the father-in-law and having this agitation about pleasing him. Okay, you guys are not very impressed. So this analogy not so useful for you. Okay, just think of Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Okay, right, these are for the practitioners. Now for the rest of us, the worldling. Do you know why the Buddha called us worldling? Do you know why? Anybody? You know, right? We are called worldling. Do you know why he calls us worldling? We are put to jhana. But why that, right? Because we are caught up in the world. Whether it's the external world or the internal world, your life, it's about the world. Your life is not about Dhamma, silence, quiet, present, not caught up. Our mind is not usually like that. Our mind is flicker. Okay? On the bad day, flicker faster. At the retreat, flicker slower. But still flicker. Okay? Then the 7th day of retreat, oh, mind so quiet already. Flicker and flicker. Okay, hopefully it's like that. And not like that. Then throughout the retreat, slower. Last day of retreat, like that. Again, back to normal. Wasted effort. Okay, for the worldling. True? Upekka is and will be rare. Because the worldling gets caught up in the world. The worldling can't let go. The worldling has choices and preferences. Now, I'm not saying you, I'm saying us. Okay? Don't be so personal about this. Yeah, just us generally, generically. Some of you, of course, very well practiced. But if you're very well practiced, you will not scold me where you're sitting. Okay? You will be, 对了, correct. Okay? Because all of us typically caught up in sense pleasures, tangled in feelings, flashed with views, constantly, persistently thinking, planning, scheming, plotting. Okay, that's not you, okay? That's the rest of the world, right? Agree? Typically, unfortunately, okay? So therefore, it is normal for people to think. Upekka, equanimity, is indifferent. Because we're more familiar with indifferent. Indifferent in our dialect is bo-chap. Not my problem. But upekka is not bo-chap. Upekka is nothing to chap. Okay? Nothing to be caught up by. That's the difference, Okay. Upekka is experienced only when there is the wisdom of that shade that will lead to contentment. In other words, what it means is, it is possible for Upekka to arise in you. But there must be the wisdom that says, it's okay, we're all going to die. Maybe not tonight, but possibly by tomorrow. Then why are we so caught up? So there is a part in us that goes around and around mortality. Okay? Only in the Buddhist context, right? When you think about death, you are called wise and not morbid. Okay? But it's true. When we think about death, it is part of our training. Why do we think about death? The Buddha said, the reason why you want to keep thinking about death, about old age, falling sick and so on, the reason why you want to keep doing that is so that you will stay wholesome. Okay? That's part of the reason. That's a critical part of the reason. Think about it this way. I'm going to pick a fight with my neighbor. Then the moment you think, yeah, but we're all going to die, sudahlah. You stop fighting. Who go fight with a carcass? Right? If you think that you're going to die, you won't fight. But the problem is we don't think we're going to die. We don't think that way. So when we say Upekka arising when there's a wisdom of a certain shade, it is really the shade that is mindful of the larger things about life, which is impermanence, mortality. Or part of your training, not mine, not I, not self. You can do that consistently, your mind will shade towards the right kind of wisdom. The wisdom that is an enabler. It enables you to let things be. Okay? True and pure. By now, you all know what's the purest form of Upekka, right? Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? May I ask of the silent majority up there? Are you now familiar? Are you now more confident to answer this question? Do you know what's pure and true Upekka? Yes? Yes? I like this class, okay? This pure and true version must come with the three of them. Who are they? Okay, that is one. That's one set of three. Metta, Karuna, Mudita. Okay? The most beautiful, the purest of the Upekka comes with the other three. It must come with loving kindness, friendliness, compassion, compersion. Okay? It will come with the three. So, if you say, I think I'm experiencing Upekka, do you feel metta? What's that? Do you feel karuna? Compassion? I think so. Do you feel mudita? What's that? Okay. You know what? Lightly bocun. Okay? Lightly not accurate. Okay, the other version. You say, I feel Upekka. Is there Dhamma wisdom? What's that? Is there wholesome mental state? Got wholesome mental state. Are you able to sit and go straight? Stillness. What's that? Okay. Cannot. Only the version. It's very unique. It's a very unique little mental state. There is a certain quiet. I'm not going to describe to you what it will be like. You feel a stillness. You feel a quiet. The mind is still. The mind is quiet. Quiet. It's peaceful. You look at the mind, it feels a little light and joyous. A little light. It feels good. Then, if someone asks you, are you feeling happy? Not really. I'm feeling okay. Okay? I'm feeling okay. But actually, there's a little joy. If you stare very hard, it's there. Do you have craving? Don't have craving. Very good, very good. No craving. No wanting. No preferences. Everything also okay. Upekka. Okay? high possibility it's a version of Upekka. Okay? Got thoughts or not? Don't have thoughts. Very good. Likely, Upekka. Okay? So it's not difficult to recognize it. I'll give you all the tricks already. This version of Upekka is what you need to deal with the vicissitudes of life, the 8 vicissitudes of life. Now, some of you are very familiar with this 8. This the 8 immortals. Okay? These are the 8 of them. If you ask yourself, in your life, okay, I want you to ask a genuine question of yourself. In your life, what matters? Okay, name one thing. One thing that matters. Okay, anything? Very good. Money. Lose or win? More is good, right? What else? Happiness. Don't want pain. What else? Health. Why health? Good point. Why health? Why do you want health? Don't want pain. You want health for what? No pain. No achy here, squeaky there, right? You think of anything. You want scolding or not? You want people to say good things about you or not? If you want to say something, say it good. I mean, I don't need you to talk about me, but if you want to talk about me, make sure it's positive, right? If you think about anything in your life, actually this 8 covers everything. Everything. You say, children, happiness and pain, gain, loss, everything. Gain, loss, happiness, pain, yes. Fame and infamy, praise and blame. It covers everything of life. And it's not easy to be Upekka about these 8. Unfortunately, it's not. So the day you can sit there and say me also, I don't care. Complain about me also, I don't care. Or money, no money, also like that. Live or die, it's okay. The day you can say that, that's Upekka. Most of us can't. Okay, not most, all of us can't. Shades of it. But for those of you who have really embarked on this path, on this Dhamma journey, would you say that you have given out so much more? That there is a part in you that has accepted a lot more. Would you say that? For sure. Okay? For sure, you would have accepted that. In the past, you're obsessed about the money. Today, you know what? Enough is enough. Okay? In the past, you are very particular about that promotion. That win. You quarrel with neighbor also must win. Today, it's okay. Let be. So that will grow. If you notice, you want to know milestone of practice, it's your degree of wholesome mental states. You want to know about your own milestone of practice, it's not what jhana you manage to hit. Those are good, great. But that's not one. It's your wholesome, unwholesome. That's the first one. Growing more wholesome, reducing the unwholesome, becoming more empathetic, becoming more giving, more easygoing. All these are your milestones. Those are your changes. And the Buddha himself said so. Buddha ever said about teachers, right? He said, you want to know whether the teacher walks the talk. You don't want to know the teacher knows the stuff. You must know whether the person walked the talk. Whether the person is wholesome. Whether the person actually delivers on the Dhamma in daily life. And that's why he said, you will not know until you live with the person. You hang around and watch the person, okay? The more you watch, the more chun you are. Get a PI, go. Okay, don't get a PI, a bit too chim. But yeah. Okay, the last point. Got so many more slides. Yeah, I've got like 16 out of 19, right? Last 2 slides. This one says Upekka and death. Okay, a little bit of context here. In ancient time, people all want to, actually not ancient time lah, all of us same lah. We want a better rebirth, right? So don't blame the ancient fellas. But in ancient time, very unique. They want to be reborn with Brahma. Okay, that was their KPI. They want to go to the Brahma realm. So in the suttas, you will encounter all these Brahmas. In lifetime, they are called Brahmin and they're Brahma, Brahmin or Brahma, and they will Brahmana. They're called Brahmana. They come to the Buddha, and they will say, Buddha, the way I do things, I burn, I kill, I make sacrifices, la la la. Will I be reborn with Brahma? Then Buddha will like. So in this particular sutta, it's called Experts in the Three Vedas, a bit not expert lah. He said, let me ask you, okay? I must look at the words and I remember. He said, Brahma, is Brahma into possession? Is Brahma into possession? No. Does Brahma have ill will? No. Does Brahma have corruption? No. Wielding power is a power of the mind. It's a bit different, okay? So, the Buddha's point was, all these Brahmana, they have corruption, they have anger and desires, and they want to go and connect with Brahma, who has none of the above. Let me ask you, can or not? The two can sing or not? That was actually the sutta, okay? The sutta is, you all want to connect with the Brahma. Brahma is full of love and compassion. So Brahma vihara, right? Kindness, friendliness, compassion, joy, Upekka, right? This is Brahma. Brahma has no desires. Brahma is very happy where he is. He has got no anger. Then you all one by one, this kind of pattern, can go and connect with Brahma or not? Actually, that was how he taught it. Of course, he didn't say this pattern. He said it a bit differently. But that's the idea, okay? So, then how do you connect with the Brahma? That's how you do it. Metta, okay? So you see, they meditate, spreading a heart full of metta in one direction, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Above, below, everywhere. Then, spread to all of the world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. Okay, that's metta. Then there is compassion. Then there is compulsion. And then there is upekka. You meditate in these mental states in all direction, above, below. Unlimited. You can do these 4 mental states. In your meditation, you will connect with Brahma. Okay? So it's by meditation. Or even if it's not meditation, in daily life, as you wander along in life, you sit the bus, you on MRT station, don't take out the phone and flum people. You just like sit there and metta the world, metta the world. So as long as this train is as high as below all direction, right? You can do that at death. Okay, dying. When you're dying, your mind is all packed and ready to go to the Brahma world. Okay? That's what the Buddha said. Like no reaction. Clearly no Hindus here, right? Nobody here into the Vedic faith. No Vedic faith. But it's a beautiful teaching, right? It's so beautiful, okay? You all must aspire, okay? Oh, lama. Either that or go for Nibbana. Okay, that one better. This, I will end with this. It's a beautiful sutta, okay? In Sutta Nipata, SNP, Sutta Nipata, I'm going to read to you, and you tell me how you feel, okay? For one living mindfully. How does consciousness cease? We've come to ask the Buddha. Let us hear what you say. Buddha said, not taking pleasure in feeling, internally and externally, for one living mindfully. That's how consciousness cease. Scale of 1 to 5. 5 would be, oh man, okay? That's a 5. 1 is, huh? Okay, that's a 1, okay? How many would say 5? Beautiful. 4? Beautiful. 3? Almost there, almost there. Okay, who won? Who won? Let me explain. It's actually beautiful because you must understand, according to the Buddha's teaching, and indeed this is what we all believe, that life continues. At the moment of death, when there is even one iota, even one iota of desire, craving, attachment, even if it's just a smitten, right? There will, a spark, life will start again. Okay, this is what the Buddhists believe. How does that spark end? Because the spark sits on attachment and craving. As long as there is a drop, it will start again. It will end, that spark will end when there is no more preferences for feeling. Okay? So that's what he said. Not taking pleasure in feeling, internal and external. Living mindfully. That's how consciousness will end. No more rebirth. This is Nibbana. Okay? Okay. Question? Yes. Which one?
Hold on. I pass the mic to him.
You got to wait for the mic to come to you. It's okay, like EF also same.
Thank you, Sister Sylvia, for the Dhamma teaching. I just have a question on this slide, right? So now the question is, how do we practice not taking pleasure in feeling?
Okay. First, you must come for DFC. Jokes aside, jokes aside. Joke. Don't take it so seriously, okay? You require 3 mental states, minimally, okay, non-negotiable. All 3 must work together. All 3 must work together, okay? There must be wisdom. A wisdom that sits on correct understanding of the Dhamma. Right view, okay? Why is that so important? Because view is your baseline, your perception, your sanya, okay? View is your baseline. How you relate to the world, how you react to the world, sits on right view. You understand, huh? Right view will then drive you in certain direction. That's why right thought. It will drive you in certain direction. It will cause you to react in a certain way. I know, puzzle view, because look, how you relate to the world, how you react to the world, what you value in life, what choices you make, sits on your view, right? I'm a Buddhist, you say. I'm a Buddhist. I see the Buddha, I will bow. That's habit. For many of us, it stems from your view. Okay? And who do you lean towards? You see a group of people. One group drink, talk about all kinds of vices. Let's go gamble. MBS, you got discount card. Kind, right? One group does that. vices and pleasures, and we go pow new, that kind, they go out and solicit. Okay. So, okay. Then there's another group that want to hang around and talk Dhamma. They want to discuss, they sit down, they're very happy to. You know, yesterday I said, my mind goes so quiet, I'm so happy. Then the other friends around him, right practitioner, rejoice together. Everybody sit, everybody go up. Okay, very still, the mind. Right? Where did you lean towards? Based on your view, you lean towards the guys who connect with you. So the Buddha always say, the views, very important. Okay? In our daily life, we have assumptions we don't even realize are counterproductive to the practice. One assumption, okay, just give you one. How many of you believe, okay, that tonight you go home, you will die? Surely got no hands up one, okay? How many believe tomorrow you will wake up and see sunrise? All your hands better be up. Okay? But the reality is, you know me? Nobody knows. But we all assume we'll wake up tomorrow. How cannot? I already lived 50, don't know how many years. One more day only. One more day. Why cannot, right? That's how our mind works. So we have a built into our system, delusion. That's the moha that the Buddha talks about. And it's there. You don't go and kick the fella, try to change the fella, every day remind yourself, you don't do that, you will continue to live the way we have always lived. It's just like that. Let me ask you, how many of you will say that if you have depression, something's wrong? You should all say that. You got depression is normal, is it? Who would say depression is normal? You say no, right? Yeah, no, yeah, depression normal? No, the general perception is being sad is not normal. Being sad, no, maybe not depression. I just whack a heavy one at you, then you're like, do I react to me? Because you know what, Sister Sylvia's trick question. Typically, our instinct says when you are angry, not normal. When you are upset, not normal. When you are sad, not normal. This is your instinct. This is our instinct. That is why we all try and fix not normal. You are sad, you will go see psychiatrist. You happy, you see psychiatrist, meh? You will say, no, that's good. That is normal. But the Buddha pointed out in his teaching, it is normal not to feel good because you have craving. That's what he meant. It is not that normal or not. It's if you have craving, which we all do, because you have craving, you will have disappointment. You will have dis-ease. You will have dissatisfaction. That's the problem. Because we're craving. Okay? I keep saying this thing because we are blind to these realities. We don't see it. We live our life planning for pleasure that keeps us going. We live our life dreaming of the trip coming up. Tonight dinner, eat what? My wife cooking something very nice. Ayo, I must cook, huh? You live your life generally planning for pleasure in anticipation of pleasure, and then life is okay. It's okay in our mind. Then there are people whose life has a lot of not okay, because the demands and there is work pressure and there is money pressure, They will say, no, life is painful. Then when is life not painful? When I have money, when my boss promote me. So everything is external. Coming back, still planning. Still planning. So if you ask me, how do you reduce attachment? You have to start with right view, right understanding. No two ways. You need to understand. And the teaching has a certain framework to teach you to see properly. There will be a period, this one cannot bluff you. There will be a period when you try and tweak the way you see the world, that period is painful. Okay? When you want to see the world as it is, you strip away. Matrix, remember? Blue pill. Red, right. Blue pill, red, red pill, which is the correct one? I forgot which is the reality, but let's say red. Okay. You either live in your delusion or you live in reality. You know what? I think Matrix was written by people who are Buddhists. Because you chose reality. It's like that. Yes. So for a while, when you strip away the mind's capacity to delude you, it's painful. It will be. Then you may say, then why am I doing it? Because you're going for the big prize. For the ones who are practitioners. Then you say, yeah, but I don't want that prize so painful. Fine. Then you go for understanding how to make your lay life happy. Because your lay life shouldn't be like that. It can be very happy, can be very meaningful, can be very joyous. If you know what mental states to cultivate, then I guarantee you very happy, deluded lay life. For sure, you'll be very happy. A Buddhist who understands the power of the mind, the Buddhist understands the power of the mind. They will know how to shape the narrative and ensure that they experience that power of the mind. And you will be happy. Okay? Happy. You all know Mangala Sutta, right? 11 paras of wisdom. You know that, right? And the Mangala Sutta is beautiful. It goes from the lay life, happy, to spiritual success. That's a full life. Not the full life, but the full life. The full life is when you experience the joy of the spiritual, the material world, live it wisely and meaningfully, but push it to the direction of spiritual so you don't waste this life. Don't waste it. Sitting down here already, you've come so far. So walk the rest of the journey. Minimally guarantee a good rebirth. Why? Then you got the condition for practice, You get a very hard rebirth. Then half the time you need to do something, right? Do something. Like try and get married. Try it. It's a bit awful. Never mind. We go and build relationship, build wholesome friendship, build kindness. Do what is right to get your mind lifted. Okay? When you set those conditions in place, which is why the DFC talks about the factors of enlightenment, you need to put in place the right kind of mental states. When those mental states are there, letting go is natural. Contentment is natural. You start by saying, I want to chop my limb, very painful. You say, okay, I put anesthesia, right? Do it gently, mild, massage, then chop. Very nice. Okay, maybe don't chop limb, to go home and chop limb. But it's really that. Buddha was very cute. He actually said this. He said there are 4 types of practices in the world. Okay? 4 types. Fast, painful. Fast, pleasant. So fast and slow, pleasant or painful. Okay? Fast or slow, pleasant or painful. So you just mix the two. Fast is when you have 5 types of mental states. Faith. Morality. Virya. Virya. Saddha is faith, confidence. Virya is the energy to keep things wholesome. Sati Samadhi, Sati, mindfulness, Samadhi, stillness, wisdom. You have these five mental states, you will see the Dhamma fast. Painful or pleasant depends on whether or not you experience jhana. You experience jhana, it balances out the pain. It makes it pleasant. You don't experience jhana, so your mind cannot go very still, you don't really enjoy it, then painful. Okay? So that's how it is. Okay, any other question? Yes.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Wonderful sharing tonight. I just want to ask if Upekka is not indifference, right? Then if I were to use another simpler word to replace it, can it be detachment? Would that be an appropriate word?
Upekka is not really detachment. Upekka can come with detachment. You can have detachment along with equanimity. You can be indifferent and detached. You can be equanimous and detached. They're not the two are not not synonymous. Okay? Detached merely means you put a distance between you and the object. Upekka has to do with your attachment to feelings or not, attachment to views or not, attachment to something or not. If you have no attachments, that's Upekka. The mental state is very quiet, very peaceful, you're not attached. Okay? And you have no attachment to feelings, very important, feelings, views, thoughts, and all those things. Okay? Any more? Yes. May the mind flows this way.
You mentioned that Upekka is actually a state of mind of acceptance and contentment.
Yeah.
But they don't come together, right? Depending on context. Meaning the eight, vicissitudes of life. Right?
They don't necessarily come together, but if you have contentment, very strong contentment, the sense of Upekka will arise. If you have very strong contentment. So let me put it this way. Let's say you don't know the Dhamma. Okay, you don't know the Dhamma. But there is a part in you, for whatever reason, you are very accepting of life. You're very easy. It's just like that, Lord. Life is like that. Okay? You say it like this. Will you experience Upekka? Yes. A high chance you will, because you are not that attached. You are very easy. You say it's okay. So because you say it's okay, you have a lightness in the heart. There will be a joy in the heart. Okay? 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 They're not the same, but they can come together. You know, mental states are very cute. You put a few mental states together, you have a certain effect. Those are the conditions. You put a few of these mental states together, you have an effect. So remember, Saddha, faith, Virya, energy to do good, to stay wholesome. Okay? Energy to stay wholesome, keep the mind pure. You can do that, the mind will go quiet. It will experience a constant state of being in the moment. In that state, the question is, do you have enough of the teaching that will then solidify the detachment? If you don't have enough of the teaching, you can end up going, oh, I see soul. Attachment. You understand, right?
For example, let's say I can be very accepting.
Yep.
That when somebody scolds me, or when I lose my wallet,
Okay.
somebody stolen from me, I cannot have contentment because somebody stole my wallet and I got scolded. But I can be very accepting. What I'm trying to say is,
Then it's not pure lah. It's not pure lah.
but how can you be having, I mean, I can have Upekka by having total acceptance even if I lost my whole
So
life
you're
saving.
saying that.
But I cannot be happy and contented because I lost my whole life saving. You know what I mean? So,
Then that Upekka not 准 one lah.
not true. Oh, still not true.
It's
Okay.
it's a 冒牌货 lah. It's trying to be Upekka. Then your mind really still that, oh, I feel so Upekka. But it's not real. It's not real. Upekka is an extremely powerful mental state. In a state of Upekka, by the way, the purest. So you hear what he says, right? Fourth jhana, pure equanimity. In a state where Upekka is pure, you will see no eye. It's like glass, no eye. Okay? That is why people in fourth jhana can happily come out and go, I'm enlightened. Now bow, everybody bow. Because the mind is so pure, it's beautiful, it glimps, right? It's so pure. No eye. This is when sometimes people will tell you, I have seen anatta. That's actually what happened. Because it is so pure, you don't see the eye. In that state, it's not normal. It's not like the state that you will experience in daily life. So they're very happily enlightened. That can happen. Then how do you know they're not enlightened? Because in daily life, they're not. In daily life, boom, become normal again, right? Because they get angry, they get agitated, they react, they get caught up. And above all, they want you to know they're enlightened. Then what happened? Got eye lah, got eye. Got attachment. Got unwholesomeness. Okay? Okay, everyone? Yes, okay. Last one, okay? Last one. If some of you want to go off, you just feel free. A very easy one. Yes.
Thank you, Sister Sylvia. I think I still don't really, some part of Upekka I still don't really understand. Like, at the start when we say it's about contentment and acceptance, I'm just like, okay, my own condition for it to arise. So let's say on my own, like earlier at the start when you said like, sometimes in my daily life, I'm like, I just sit there, I'm like, there's a nice chair, there's a roof, there's a family, there's my size, I'm like,
yes.
Yes. And like,
You're happy.
I thought that was Upekka.
It is Upekka.
But when I don't feel care or concern for others, and
then it will disappear, lor?
Yeah. So
you're saying that in that state of Upekka, there is no metta, no karuna. So that one the 冒牌货 version,
Yeah, so it's like for a moment, of course
not
I'm like
pure and total.
So I'm like, it's like, because like you said, state of mind is a spectrum. So this is like, maybe it's like on the slow end, but I can't even comprehend how, if I go up the spectrum, how care and concern for others comes into the picture.
Yeah, interesting, right?
It will?
O panaiko. Leading on. Ehi pasiko. Come see for yourself. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No. These are all spectrums of the mind. It is just spectrums of the mind. Understanding the Dhamma requires you to really understand your mind, what the mind is capable of experiencing. Okay? Really requiring one to learn, to recognize the different slices of this mind. Our mind is super fascinating. Oh, panaiko. Okay, super fascinating. Dhamma is not just concepts. I must stress this again and again. Dhamma is really about the mind. If you say, "Ayo, so chim la," you know what? Stay wholesome. Actually, if you understand how to bring your mind back to wholesome again, the sila, wholesome again, you can stay there. You will experience, if truly wholesome, you will experience the state of quiet. The mind feels peaceful. In that state, when the mind is peaceful, that's the state where you have sila, wholesome, and samadhi, quiet. Then what's missing? Panya, Dhamma. So you just know a bit of Dhamma. You don't need to know the super chim end of Dhamma. Okay? You don't need that. You need Four Noble Truths. This one, non-negotiable. Okay? Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths governs your life, your mind. That can be a talk for another day. Okay? That can be a talk for another day. Okay, any other question? We will have one last question. 没有, no more. No more?
Sister Sylvia, thank you so much for your insightful talk.
Okay.
Today you actually covered equanimity, because sometimes in life you have a lot of things that you have to handle. So like you mentioned, the mind flickers.
Yeah.
So if we are, let's say we call ourselves a practitioner, how do the mind stay in the wholesome state for most of the time? Because sometimes you go to work, there are a lot of issues and all that. So how can we maintain a wholesome state of mind?
Okay.
Maybe like 90 to 95% of the time.
Wonderful. Hey, you see people know up. No, you can. You can. I've mentioned this in some other spaces before. On a good day, like now it's a good day, right? On a good day, remember metta. Right now, all of you metta, right? All smiling happily or metta, right? Memorize it, remember it, consolidate this. So every time you are aware, metta. Smile. You cannot smile. Take a pen, pen, bite on it. Okay? Okay, I cannot bite. It's not very COVID, right? You put it there, make a smile. A smile that comes, I always say, the smile that comes from the heart. Okay? Do that all the time. Go toilet, smile. Look at mirror, don't look at how good you are. Got smile or not? Oh, smile. Okay? Smile. Do it all the time. You can do that because you need to create AYE. All of us must be engineer, okay? You need to construct the AYE towards wholesomeness. If you don't, then in daily life, you will revert to old habits. Why do you think the Buddha used the word Brahma Vihara? What does Vihara means? Living. Vihara also means temple, but Brahma Vihara actually means living like the Brahma. Your daily life is like the Brahma, okay? And I always say that start with the easiest. The easiest is metta. For those of you who insist that karuna is easier, I just tell you, okay, your karuna botun one. Not good enough. Work on the metta. Metta is the easiest because it's just letting go of your self-image only, ma. You're self-conscious. You're very self-conscious, all right? We're all very self-conscious. Let go of the self-conscious. Okay, just let go of the self-conscious. Be concerned with another's well-being. Just think of it like this and you're good to go, okay? Good to go. And you do that often enough. You've got to create the right habits. Positive habits, the right one. And you do it. Now, sometimes, in the past, I would tell people, which is the one that you're most comfortable with, work on that one. So some people will say faith. Buddha Dhamma Sangha, which is what the Buddha told his monks. Buddha Dhamma Sangha, okay? So if yours is Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then every time your mind comes back to awareness, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, okay? Your mind take a mental bow. Joyous, gratitude. And it goes on, depending on what is yours. But I always say metta is the easiest. Metta, you know what? Change your name. So every time people call you, you remember. What's your name? Metta. What's your name? Metta, right? Metta for the guy, metta for the woman. You see, we got two versions already. Yeah. Then you want it to be really kilat, right? Brahma metta. Kaka lai, right? Go for the big thing. Yeah, why not, right? Okay, everyone is good, huh? One last reminder. And this one I must always remember. I must always remind people, our predecessors have done very well. That's why we are here. That's why we'll cross path with the teaching. That's why you not only cross path, you have the mental capacity to understand. This is merits accrued from different time. Why, my all this life very kilat ne? Like that only ma? But you're born in Singapore, under really great conditions for practice. We got CPF, so retire already, still can practice. So what does that mean? Do it right. Do as much, so that the next person who comes along wouldn't scold you. Okay? They were like, thank you, well done. Well done, okay? And I always end with this, may we always enjoy supportive conditions for practice, for learning and practice. And very important, don't deviate from the path. If you want to ask only of one thing, ask to return to the path. Why? Because when you come back to the path, you don't have to worry that in that life you will stray. Keep going, okay? Keep going. Don't do cha-cha. Cha-cha, right? 2 steps forward. Yeah. Don't do like 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. Then you will go deviate very far. Go forward. Okay? Okay, good night, everyone.